Hi, I'm Kim, and this is a part two. It's part two because I'm going to put the cell activator I made a little while ago, I'm going to put that to use on this butterfly. This is an MDF butterfly and pre-cut, and what I'm going to, I've coated it with a Valspar satin enamel interior paint. It was an Oops paint, a gallon of Oops paint that I picked up for $9 and had the guys throw some black in there. And then I can tell you the colors, but I can't tell you the mix for sure on this because this was from all of my experiments. These are leftover paints from my trying to learn how to activate cells. And so now what I want to do is just use up this paint. I don't want it to go to waste. So I'm going to try one of these butterflies. And the technique that I'm going to use today is from Tammy Anderson Arts. This was a video that she put out on February 26th on YouTube, and it is titled A New Swiping Technique. Let me pull it up here. A New Way to Swipe, Amazing Rainbow Effects, Color Swipe, Acrylic Pour Painting. And again, it was by Tammy Anderson Art on YouTube, and that was on February 26th of 2021. So her technique is to load the paints on the card prior to putting them down for the swipe. And so it's a piece of plastic because I was watching, as her card, and she recommended using a hard card or plastic. And one of the things I'm seeing that could present an issue is this fold in this card. So for the sake of time, because I need space to load the paint on. This is one of those videos where the other more experienced artists get to laugh at us newbies who aren't properly prepared, didn't fully think it out before we turned on our video camera. And one of the things I noticed too is having enough room to load the amount of paint that you're going to want on that card is important. So this piece of plastic, this is from my tubes of Amsterdam paint that I got on Amazon, and it's just effective. It's good hard plastic, and it's a good way to recycle, and I think this is going to work great. And this has a little rounded edge. It was a corner in the plastic, but it's a slightly rounded. So and the thing is, I wanted it wide enough to swipe up to this wing, because I'm going to do the wings one at a time. And I've never done this before, so then I'm going to have to do some melding, getting it all together. So what I want to do first is I want to put some of this pillow paint. So I took the Valspar Satin Enamel Interior Paint, and I added a few drops of water because this is like a ½ ounce. I'm using a 1 ounce shot glass. That's how I stop myself from mixing too much paint, is by mixing my paints in tiny containers, because I get carried away. Anyway, and I put a little bit of Floetrol in it, and the reason I thought to do that was because I wanted this to be slick and smooth, and so that when I'm drawing that piece of plastic with all the paint on it across, it'll slide, that it won't skid and get stuck. I want it to slide. So first I'm going to take the bubbles out on this side, and I'm only putting the pillow paint down on one side at a time. Couple little bubbles that didn't pop, I'm going to hit with a toothpick, because I don't want to burn up the paint trying to pop a few bubbles, especially when I'm going to be dragging a cell activator. you know, and in Tammy's videos, she was saying when it's appropriate to use the word cell activator and when it's not. And I think in this case, it is okay to use the term cell activator because that is the intent that I'm doing. I'm trying to activate cells, and I'm going to use a black cell activator, but I'm not doing a paint pour. That's why I believe that this is appropriate timing to use the term cell activator. And plus, the paint that I'm going to be using on this swipe is going to be the recipe that I learned from JMO Painting. And so his cell activator recipe, just for those who missed part 1, is 3 parts American Floetrol, 1 part Amsterdam paint, 1 part school glue, and then 3 to 6 drops of Minwax wood conditioner. For anybody who's confused about the term 1 part to 3 parts, blah blah. It means if you measure a tablespoon of paint, then you measure a tablespoon of the other. So if it's 3 to 1, that's 1 tablespoon of paint, 3 tablespoons of Floetrol. Every part is equal to whatever it was you measured your original paint color in. So whether it's black or white, and whether it's a tablespoon, a teaspoon, an ounce, 8 ounces, whatever that measurement was on your paint, that's your core, your 1 part. And then you would add, if you added 8 ounces of paint, then you would add 24 ounces of Floetrol and 8 ounces of the school glue. And you know, if you're working with 8 ounces, I would probably increase the number of drops on the Minwax wood conditioner. I'm not sure. Asking JMO is probably a good idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to uncover these paints. I did stir them up right before I started recording, and I'll stir them again right as I get ready to lay them down. This is really bright yellow, very pretty yellow. And so what I'm going to do, I guess I better put the black center on first. So I'm loading everything on the card. So first I'm going to put down some of this black JMO recipe. That's just going to be for 1 wing. I don't know that I need a whole bunch of that. I don't know, because I'm just starting. I'm new. I'm a beginner. You know, I've been playing in the paint since October of 2020. I'm originally a jewelry artist, but when they started recommending that we stay home for that thingy, I just thought this isn't good for our minds, and causing depression and anxiety. And so I decided that I wanted to do something to help build neuroplasticity, and I just wanted to take on something totally new for me. And I thought that it would, I'm going to set this down. I thought that it would be wise to pick something that has always been challenging for me, and that was definitely paint and art. Glass beads were my medium. But I painted a pretty good picture, and you know, using brush on acrylic, I painted the nebula, the star nursery, and the Pillars of Creation is what it's called. And that was a Christmas present for my mom, and Mom liked the painting so much that she offered to help get me some paints for Christmas, because the paints I had made her picture out of were the paints that she had used in her classroom as a school teacher, and some of those paints had been sitting around for 20 or 25 years. I kid you not. And so then, you know, I took that gift to heart, and that's why it was so hard on me, the idea of wasting paint. And okay, here we go. No fear. I'm just gonna put this towards me so that it's in the way that I'm doing my swipe. And then I'm gonna come out this way. Wow, that's amazing. And since I missed this little wing here, and I know that we're not supposed to swipe a second time, I'm going to put a little bit of cell activator, just the black cell activator on this card. And I'm going to use it to help me get this corner right here. There. I don't want to mess anything up. Just with the torch. Let me see if I can bring this up for you. And so I know that these cells tend to open more with time. And I'm just going to wait and see what happens. So, ink. I'm a little anal retentive about not wasting paint. And so before I clean my card, I'm going to knock this paint in here. And I'll end up making a skin out of it. The other thing is, I don't want to be putting a lot of paint in the trash can or down the drain. Paint down the drain is never a healthy thing. So I try to save every little bit of scrap, and I'll turn it into a skin at the end of my, you know, when I'm done working with this color set. Though I really wish I could, I want it to open a little more by that yellow. And I'm nervous, but well, I think I'm just going to let it sit, and I'm going to move on to the next piece, and we'll come back to that and see what happens. Maybe the trick is to let some of it pour off the edge. No, that's not the trick. I have a feeling the trick on that is going to be a second swipe. Híjole! Anyway, alright. Cell activator. Let me set this down. In fact, set it down right here. And then I have two different colors of orange. This one has a little bit of sparkly in it, and it's a little bit lighter than the second orange is by Saks Acrylic Paints, and it's a darker orange, no sparkly. And then this red is also by Saks Acrylic Paints. I got a set of bottles on Amazon for a pretty good deal. Alright. Now I'm going to do it again. Not sure. I guess it's just practice makes perfect, and I'll have to keep practicing on how to get the card on the color to come down the way I want it to. Alright, I'm going to push this paint. I have paint left on here, but I'm just going to push it forward a little bit and put a little more cell activator. And then I think I'm going to dig the card in a little bit and try to get it to take that paint down. Let's see what happens now. I think I may be using too much cell activator. And I think I'm going to try for this other side, even though it'll be something different. Because I don't mind coming back and scraping off the first half I've done. But I'm also going to try this time putting the paints down first. And before anybody thinks about like chewing me up and spitting me out for my techniques, this is just me experimenting and keeping notes as I go, and a willingness to share what I'm learning as I go. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm not pretending to be an expert. Just willing to record and take loving constructive criticism. You know, it's kind of interesting when you chase down ISPs and see who's behind the nasty comments on some of these artist videos. I couldn't understand why, you know. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So now this time I put down a cell activator last, and I'm using half the amount of cell activator that I used on the other side, and I want to see if this helps me with getting the color to set down. And yeah, I did kind of just press on that. And so now I can see that I need a little more cell activator to just be able to make the second swipe. Lightly, Kim. Lightly. So far what I'm liking best is what's over here on this tail. And this is practice paint. So, eek. I'm trying to decide the fix for this. And I'm okay with scrapping it if I have to, but I'm curious if the solution isn't in drawing some of these cells down. And for the constructive critics, if you watching what I'm doing, if you're able to identify what would help me get these bigger cells, like this area, I would like to know what you do to go towards those bigger cells. But this is practice paint, and I want to have something something worthy of resin, as I hear so many people put it. Radio. And you know what else? I think attitude is everything. So if you go into a project like this without having a dead set outcome, and you're just willing to play and see what happens, you won't get stressed out. I have a few times gotten myself a little stressed out because I just couldn't get it to do what I wanted. And then I learned the importance of room temperature, humidity, controlling the air in the environment, and the proper products to use. Okay, that's good enough. Probably more than I needed. So I'm gonna cut this here. This was part 2. It was my first attempt at a swipe, and I've brushed it off, and I'm gonna try again. So I'm willing to share my mistakes if it helps other people figure out what works and doesn't work. Curious to see what kind of skin this turns into at the end. And it's real important to clean up my area before I do part 3. So I will go get cleaned up and I will be back.